Monster Jam fans here in Houston and across the world watching on Facebook Live, welcome to the Monster Jam Hall of Fame Class of 2021 ceremony. Earlier this year, Gravedigger founder Dennis Anderson and the voice of Monster Jam, Scott Douglas, were inducted as the inaugural members of the Monster Jam Hall of Fame. Tonight, we are proud to celebrate two more extraordinary people whose incredible achievements have shaped the past, present, and future of Monster Jam. And now, as we begin our induction ceremony, please direct your attention to the video board.
For nearly 3 decades and counting, we have witnessed Monster Jam grow to be the birthplace of legends, where the valiant have vied for victory, their mighty machines pushing the limits, atop earthen mounds of invention, hallowed grounds where championships were waged, won, and lost. These pioneers, these icons, have dedicated their lives to the sport. Extraordinary men and women who shaped Monster Jam into a phenomenon around the globe. At last, their feats, their triumphs, their histories have a home. A place where courage, ingenuity, and excellence are realized and rewarded. A place where legends and heroes can live on forever. The Monster Jam Hall of Fame.
Well, again, a big welcome to the Monster Jam fans here in Houston and across the world watching on Facebook Live. For nearly 30 years, Monster Jam has been on top of the motorsports world. Millions of fans worldwide have enjoyed the world's best driver athletes competing at the highest level and witnessed the amazing technological revolution that gives Monster Jam trucks their superpower that defy physics and soar to unimaginable heights. The Monster Jam Hall of Fame recognizes the individuals whose heart, passion, and dedication have left lasting remarks on our sport, and those whose contributions also continually evolve the sport. Here in Houston, we welcome the class of 2021 inductees, their families, and distinguished guests in celebration of achievement. Tonight, we honor Gary Porter, the founder of the Carolina Crusher Monster Jam truck and longtime Team Gravedigger driver. We also honor former Liquidator driver Mike Wales, whose passion for building vehicles drove his efforts towards assembling the largest fleet of race vehicles anywhere in the world, Monster Jam trucks. Now I'd like to introduce to the stage Max D driver and MJU professor, Tom Menz.
Man, it is so awesome to be here this year with these two inductees. These guys are magnificent. But I gotta talk about Mike Wales. Mike was a guy that he cared about everyone. He never forgot anyone. He was always there to reach out to you and touch you when you were down. He really cared about people. All of us, drivers, crew, everybody working our events. He may not have been the most famous person's name in Monster Jam, but he meant a lot and the most. Mike started off in the early 80s helping Bob Fisher with Liquidator. He went out there, he started crewing with him, and then Mike moved on to drive Liquidator as Bob moved on to a different chassis. But you know, he did it all. He did it all. He quit driving, he crewed, he became, you know, exactly an event director, a tech official, and he moved on through the ranks. And then, when Monster Jam acquired the fleet, 3 Gravedigger trucks in 1999, Mike took it upon himself to make sure that those trucks were maintained at the best level. He started with 3, many years later, there was 54. Mike was in charge of 54 Monster Jam trucks. He kept them on the track, he kept them traveling from city to city, he kept all the crews going. He lived and breathed Monster Jam every minute of his life. He had other passions as well. But you know, truly gonna miss Mike. We lost him in 2016. Way too young, way too early. We miss him every day. He's always got a special place in my heart, and I know that he's still looking down on all of us. One other passion that Mike had was the Bonneville Salt Flats. He loved to go fast. He worked out at the Salt Flats. He helped guys with cars, and he always told me, one day, Tom, I want to go 200 miles an hour. But I know for a fact that right now, Mike Wells is in heaven going 300 miles an hour. We love you, Mike. We miss your caring hand. We know you're always looking over us. And it could not be more honoring to not get Mike Wells' induction into the Hall of Fame. So please, with me, watch the video boards.
Mike Wales was the director of the Monster Jam fleet, and which was in charge of all the monster trucks, maintaining the crew guys, the shops, and everything that you see on TV every weekend or at a live event. You know, he had a hand in all of it.
He was there as a driver in the very early stages of Monster Jam and progressed into the person that wanted to be responsible for lots of drivers and be responsible for lots of trucks. So the Monster Jam trucks and the birth of Monster Jam was literally created on his back.
Mike was an innovator, and he was the original architect of what has become the largest fleet of race vehicles in the entire world.
Monster Jam was his passion. Monster Trucks was his passion. He lived it, he breathed it every day.
His legacy is still around, his presence is still around, and that's why he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Mike Wales was always a man of few words. He was only interested in making sure everybody got a great performance. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here with us tonight. We brought the next best thing, the wonderful Peggy Wales. Peggy, come on up here to the podium. Help me welcome her.
I just want to say a few words. Mike would be proud that he's being inducted into the Monster Jam Hall of Fame. He would also be extremely honored and humbled to be in the same class with Gary Porter. Mike used to say he was very lucky that he had a job that was his passion. For him, that was building trucks, talking with crew, and working with the drivers. So on behalf of our families and Mike, I thank you all for this.
Well, Peggy, congratulations on this incredible achievement. Mike's legacy will continue to inspire and always live on in the Monster Jam Hall of Fame. As we continue this great celebration of achievements, let's welcome back Tom Meents.
Well, like I said, awesome class 2021 inducted into the Monster Jam Hall of Fame. This guy is certainly no exception. Man, he has lived the American dream. Gary Porter, back in the early 80s, went down to the bank, borrowed $9,500, and told him he wanted to build a Monster Jam truck. How he pulled that off, I do not know. But you know, he always followed that dream, and he rode it all the way to the top. I saw Gary in Indianapolis at a big event back in the mid-'80s. And you know what? I looked at him, I looked at that truck, and I realized, Gary Porter, you're my hero. Seeing Gary out on the track, such an awesome racer, laid down for no one. Gary was lights out on the light, lights out on the competition, and could beat anyone he lined up against. Believe me, I knew. And I had a hard time when I lost. I couldn't hate the guy. He always had a big smile, North Carolina man. He loved what he did, and he would always help all the competitors as he got out on track. The number one thing with him is he worked super hard. Oftentimes in the summer, Gary would do as many as an event every day for 13, 14 days. He tirelessly went out there, worked, toiled, drove his own Monster Jam truck, drove the hauler, and did all his own crew work. Man, Gary, and the number one thing he always did, he helped me. He kept me on track. He kept me out there. He would just look at me and say, Thomas, don't wreck again. We'll get it back together, but don't do it again for me. Super consistent. He got an opportunity. He made the most of it. In 2001, he joined Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger team. At that point, we were all in trouble. Having a super successful, consistent Gary Porter driving Gravedigger, and then having the madman, Dennis Anderson, it was hard to top him. But you know, at the end of his career, the last year, he got the great opportunity to go back to his roots, to go back to what he started in Carolina Crusher. And only Gary Porter could pull this off at the very last event he did. In 2017, he looked around, he scaled up the competition, and he won. He walked away from his last event he performed at, and he won, because he's number one, and he always will be. My buddy, my friend, my hero, Gary Porter. Pay attention to the board, please.
Gary Porter is a Monster Jam legend.
He was by my dad's side from the bottom. Not many drivers can do what he did for as many years as he did it.
What he could do in a small arena in a Monster Jam truck was just amazing. He always knew where he was, and he could always really push the limits without going across the boundaries or really putting the truck in danger. He was a smooth driver, really good racer, and he just put on a great show.
What a piece of driving. What an incredible save that was, Mike.
He was always very consistently good, but his equipment was also consistently top-notch, well-maintained. There was never any faltering in that. And in fact, Mr. Consistency was one of his nicknames.
Yeah, every time he was on the track, he was a competitor. He always wanted to win. He always showed the best foot forward because he had great equipment and he was a great ability on the track. He showed other people the way.
I want you to help me in welcoming the king of consistency, the Wadesboro Warrior, my hero, to the podium, Gary Porter, Mr. Carolina Crusher.
Well, thank you, Tom. Man, I got some notes here, but I don't even know if I'll be able to read them. You know, I first want to I just want to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, you know, for seeing me through all this. You know, what an honor to be here in Houston. I mean, here in front of all you Monster Jam fans. You know, I flew into town last night, saw the Astrodome over here, you know, got up this morning, went over to Great Clips, got a haircut, and man, I come by and seen this big building. I thought the Astrodome was big when I came here in the late 80s, but then I seen this huge building here, and it was just a reminder of me how the sport has grown, how these young drivers keep on increasing and raising the bar, and you fans. I mean, you know, I have so many people to thank that helped me get to where I am, and most of all, you know, I have to apologize. There's so many that I don't even know their names, you know, and it's you guys, the fans. I mean, I've been around you. Y'all have supported Monster Jam all these years, but I've never got to meet each and every one of you personally. And I mean, you have kept Monster Jam going. And you know, I got started back in the late 80s. You know, I had a dream. My brother had a four-wheel drive shop, and he needed something advertised for his business. And so we took my street truck. And I went to the bank and borrowed $9,500. And the woman at the bank, she pretty much laughed at me because I wanted to build a monster truck. And I had a dream. She didn't believe it, but I wanted to live it. And that kept pushing me and pushing me. I wanted to prove to that woman that I could pay that money back and I could live a dream and the American people would support me, you and living my dream and coming out here driving monster trucks and doing what I love to do. And man, there's so many people back home. My brother Richard, he had division right along with me. Friends, Hugh James, Tracy Caudle, Greg Thomas, and so many more that I traveled a lot by myself. I would work on the truck, I would drive the rig, and I would get it back home. But when I got back home, I had an awesome crew of friends that would help me work on the truck and maintain it and get ready to come back out and do what I love to do. And then, all the promoters that give me the opportunity and give me the chance back in the early days to, just to show what I could do with the monster truck, with the Carolina Crusher. And then the FELD family. Kenneth Field and everybody in the office there. They have taken Monster Jam to levels that no one else could ever imagine. And Charlie Mancuso, Bill Easterly, Keith Speller, just to name a few. And of course, Mike Wells. Man, it is an honor to get inducted into the Monster Jam Hall of Fame with him tonight. He inspired me so much, and he would call me after shows and say, "Hey, Gary, you've done a great job, but, maybe you need to try this, or maybe you need to try that." He was always very supportive, and he had a heart. And, man, he loved his wife, Peggy. And then, traveling around the country, we all have family at the events, up in Pennsylvania, the Blaney family, Jackie and Stacy and her mom and dad. I would always seem like I would end up at their fair around my birthday. They would always have a birthday cake for me. Pat and Charlene up in West Lebanon, New York. Man, the times we have left up there, Tom, you have to agree with me, with bags of cookies. They would have cookies and stuff fixed for us when we got there, send us on the road with a care package. Ron Malin and his family out in Fresno, California. Paul from Boston. There were so many people that helped us, encouraged us to keep us on the road, because they knew we were missing our families out here doing what we love to do. And you fans, you have been so awesome over the years. And, I was fortunate enough to drive Carolina Crusher up until 2000 when I sold it. And then I started over to the Gravedigger team because I was planning on retiring, and then I got the call to drive Gravedigger, and I was like, man, I can't pass up on this opportunity. So I drove it up until 2015, and then FELD Entertainment built me a brand new truck, put the Carolina Crusher body back on it, and I was able to drive it for another 2.5 years to end out my career in the monster trucks. And what a ride it was. Again, I can't thank these fans enough. We couldn't have done it without you. The drivers that are still out here today cannot do it without you. And these young drivers, what you think about them out here tonight putting on the show they are? The racing, the two-wheel skill contest. And my favorite coming up, is freestyle. And I'm honored to have with me tonight, my family, my wife, Wanda, my granddaughter, Hannah, and Farrah and Tyler. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you coming out here. And again, FELD Entertainment, thank you guys so much. It's an honor to be inducted into the Monster Jam Hall of Fame, to be right there with Dennis Anderson, Scott Douglas, and Mike Wells. We love you guys, and thank you.
Congratulations to you, Gary, and on behalf of your millions of fans worldwide, congratulations on this historic induction to the Monster Jam Hall of Fame. Well, Monster Jam fans, it is my great honor to present to the world the Monster Jam class of 2021, Gary Porter and Mike Wales.